run down your guys. Aiden, will he throw this weekend?
He's going to be moving around and playing catch, progressing as tolerated this week. I don't think for any of the guys I'll put like an exact, whether it's Micah, Brady, Aiden, or anyone else. I'll just kind of we're going to see what they're feeling like today, moving around and progressing and throwing and hitting and running for each respective guy. So, but like I said the other day, attitudes are all in a good spot. Body's responding well, feeling well. So I'm excited and curious as to how today goes for everyone too. So I'll be running around up and down the line, checking on each and every guy and how they responded after a day off, which would be nice.
So is that would we be able to describe them as day-to-day or questionable, or how would you suggest we label their status?
And you're an incredible journalist. I think your wording on it will be awesome. I'd say like you could call it day-to-day, but like really it's just when you get a good idea on how the guy's feeling, that's also the progression on it. If a guy's throwing 120, 150 feet and how he's responding to that. And also discussions of, hey, if we're getting long toss in, that's great, and feeling good ripping down on the ball. But now do we want to make sure we're putting a hitter in the box first and getting out on the game mound? Because easily, especially with some nicer weather coming in this weekend, you get more fans in the stands, people excited, then you're amping up to a whole nother level. So we want to make sure that we're progressing it the right way. But I think a lot's going to be determined on how today feels.
Okay. What has he been doing? Like, has he been throwing bullpen sessions the last week or
just catch play?
Just catch, okay.
Just catch play, moving around, making sure the body's staying in a good spot. So, but I wouldn't say like,
he hasn't thrown a session.
There's not sitting there ripping down the mound yet. I'm limiting everyone on that.
Yeah. So. And it's not warm. It's supposed to be nicer, so that probably plays into how you would approach it too, just generally speaking.
And I'm sweating like right now. Just you can see the sweat trickling down. It's like a sauna. But it says it's going to be 50 and no rain on Thursday, Friday. Knock on wood with that one. But compared to the chill last week, and nice that anyone wasn't bringing it up or complaining about it. Just throw the hand warmers in the back pocket and go about your business. But I don't know. I think going through that is also a valuable thing. In North Dakota State, as they were saying, hey, it's 50 degrees back home. We come out here and it's a little chillier. I swear it's not like this all the time.
Is Kyle a situation, or is that just you haven't had a chance to put him out there?
No, he was a little tight as well, so we're just keeping an eye on him. But he's feeling really good and starting to progress as well too. I think last weekend it wasn't one of those things where like, hey, let's ramp it up and get in here again. Preseason, I think a lot of it is gearing up, making sure that we're ready for conference play. Probably going to be a little chilly down in Utah for opening of conference play, but I think that was kind of the goal, is make sure last weekend, this weekend, we're not going to be overly aggressive. So a lot of the conversation what guys want to do and get up there and start throwing, I'm like, but I'd rather pull the reins on him than have to push him too much. So he's in that progression phase as well.
Okay, my last bug is Wilson. Is that Tanner, or is it just did he ding something in surprise?
Yeah, he was. He also had a little something going on, trying to keep small problems small. And I'd say through this last weekend, he was feeling better and better each day. Today, he's probably going to go out and have a full-on practice. Probably get some live ABs off some of the arms too. And as long as that looks good, then he should be a full go for this weekend based on what I'm hearing and seeing how he's moving. But he had some stuff just was lingering and trying to stay hot and ready to go at any given time. And really, if there was a situation, he was ready to go in if needed this last weekend. But, Tanner was looking good, and we didn't want to push it for Webby. So didn't want it to turn into a multi-month deal. I'd rather turn it into just a couple days.
We talked to Tanner before just about his work and his, cutting down on weight and getting stronger and whatnot. How have you seen him and, sort of go on that sort of transformation and try and, be healthier and be stronger for you?
Yeah, it was good. I think once we finished up with the regional, you see, he wanted to make changes, and he kind of got hit with that pretty good, and said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get bigger, faster, stronger, and make sure I can thrive through the end of the season. And he was upset with how his body was feeling at the end of the year, and it goes to sleep, it goes to nutrition, it goes to conditioning yourself. So he kind of just gave up taking off or doing anything other than being here and working, putting time in the weight room. And so it's fun to see his body respond to that, and to go out and catch 4 games in chilly weather. That's a good sign for where your body's at, and even on the last day to be successful at the plate, when your legs typically are not feeling great. But if you want to do it at the next level, you're going to have to do it 4 or 5, maybe even 6 or 7 times a week, depending on the time of year. So
how would you describe his defensive ability behind the dish?
Really catch and throw. I mean, there's no doubt. Really receive. I mean, you look at each of the aspects. He puts it on the bag every time.
Is it like 2 for 9 or something? 2 for 7?
What, as far as throwing out?
Yeah, okay. 2 for 7. 2 for 7.
Yeah.
It's been solid, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But I mean, accurate catch play, and a lot of times, like, you can't look at every stolen base as equal to another, because is the pitcher slow? Is it a tough pitch to throw on? Did they guess right? But what I will say is he always puts it on the money when he plays catch. He's even looking for back picks right now, which is very encouraging. Sometimes he does. He works the low pitch really well. Having True Media and Synergy and all these other metrics, we can see where guys are keeping strikes, and where they're getting balls out of the zone, those fringe pitches called strikes. And he's always done a good job on the low pitch, because he sets up low and he works up through it. Also, one thing Weber does a really good job at is the top of the zone and the corners. And so it's good that those guys work together so they can push each other to get better at their I guess weaknesses, or I guess where they're not as strong. But the one thing we keep pushing him on is he's got such good hands. We keep pushing him to block the ball. You're right, and there's just some confidence that goes with that. And so you bring it up to him, you show him some video, and he continues to get better on it. Coach Esposito does a great job pushing those guys. I say, like, don't kill him down there. I mean, he loves to work them. They pound the machine on him, whether it's just for receiving or ball and dirts, but they get a ton of work in, and I love that environment from our catchers, showing up before everyone else and leaving after everyone else, being the guys that clean up the kitchen, you name it. We do have a really good core group of guys behind the dish.
Sounds like he's a chef at his house. He's just making everybody meals. Do you know about this? Yeah. I guess he's like a Julia Childs or something in there.
Like, are we talking the microwave?
No, I'm talking like
No, he's apparently throwing down on some steak.
He's bringing it strong.
Have we seen this, or is this?
This is word of mouth, but it was from one of his roommates, though. So it wasn't like just from a random yo.
Right, but it depends on which roommate, right? A home cooked meal. What does that really mean?
We asked him.
Does that mean
he said, like,
top ramen and dino nuggies? What do we mean?
Steak and crunch wraps, like homemade crunch wraps.
It was from Eric, who's a freshman, so their meals might be a little interesting.
Well, I mean, I also know that Eric's parents are phenomenal cooks as well, and they make some really, really good grub. So then it must be good. High appreciation. If Tanner is a good chef at the house, maybe just taking care of his nutrition as well and sharing it amongst the house.
You say you're making meals for everybody, Tanner.
I asked, was it top ramen and dino nuggies, or was it? It's just a question. I don't eat over there.
Go-to? I don't know. I kind of cook everything.
Give me like 2 or 3 meals.
I make a good crunch wrap.
Yeah,
we
heard that one. Crunch wrap.
Crunch wrap. Steak, potatoes, broccoli, all that type of stuff.
Like scallop potatoes, or just baked?
Like mashed potatoes.
I like mashed potatoes. A lot of butter.
Keep the skins on or skins
No,
off?
skins off. Absolutely.
Discriminate against the skins, man.
I prefer the texture. keeping him in.
Well, speaking of catchers, I was reading into Easton Talt a little bit from his high school scouting report.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything mentioned about him playing catcher in high school. Is that something you guys have taught him to do here?
No, he always had a little bit of that in the bag as well. He's a big-time athlete, so he can do anything and everything. He's been like touching on it, staying ready in case if he needs to get back there. It's always exciting when you got a guy who can really, really run, and if he can be behind the plate, he's got a really good arm as well. Primarily he's going to be out in the outfield for playing time, especially when you got two other guys that are older and well equipped behind the dish. But he's just, hey, what do you need me to do? And I bet if I told him to go play shortstop or second base or first base, he'd grab a glove and go do it. He's eager to help the guys win. So, but it's the same thing with Forrester last year. Garrett would bug me and carry around his catcher's gear all the time, and I said, you can keep carrying it around, but he ain't going to put it on in the game. But now that's what he's doing in the minor leagues a little bit too. So he lets me know that I'll show you, which is exciting.
We talked to Segura before too. Just what have you seen from him, and sort of even on practices, and how he's developing and how he's learning from his first couple starts here?
Well, he's the same guy at practice as he is in the game. It's just, it's almost as if there's no one in the stands ever, and there's no one on base ever. He's just pretty relaxed and goes about his business. Even some of the situations that came up, we kicked a couple balls in the first inning for him, and he got 5 outs. He just had to keep going. And I'm just watching body language, that tells me a lot, or pitch execution. And I said, like ice in his veins. He's just pretty neutral about everything, but he's also a fun guy to be around. The guys really enjoy him, and he's got really good stuff. So we just got to keep finding ways to push him to get better and sharpen up the slider a little bit. And he's doing a good job with the changeup, getting lefties out.
Will you stack your starters like you did last weekend if Aiden doesn't go? Will it be a similar rotation?
No, I think we've already switched up with you. You already switched up with them, Hank?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to...
He just does what you say, so you can tell us.
He doesn't listen to me. No, Keljo's going to go start Thursday, and then we'll do Hunter, and then Kamats and Segura this week.
Okay.
So
you just said no May then.
slight plot twist as of right now.
Okay.
But you know me, I
So that's
switch
nice.
things. We might stretch and play and practice at 1, and I might push it back. If there's rain coming at 2, I might push practice till 2.
Flexible.
Yeah. I'm not flexible, like
Nimble.
physically,
You used to be
mentally
flexible.
very, but physically no.
Do you feel you can be more cautious with Aiden because of the way Segura's pitched and Kamats's pitched? Do you feel like you maybe can afford at this point in the season to be more cautious with him at this point?
Well, there's a lot that goes into it. I think our offensive abilities allow us some freedom to do some stuff, and also just having a lot of guys that we trust to go on the mound. I mean, last weekend when Lawson wasn't able to get out of the first, it takes a lot for the bullpen to then pick up the slack, and also having the 10-run rule in effect, preventing having to go out there and throw a couple extra innings. I think there's just a lot that plays into that. But even in the case of May or any of those other guys, I want to make sure that those outings, when they do get those things, it's like we're still building up into it. We wouldn't go out and throw any of those guys who took the last week off, even for Jaron last week. Strict pitch count policy after not pitching for a week. Not that anything was wrong, there's just we haven't pitched, so that kind of just puts a little wave in the build-up process. And what we've seen out of Ferg and what we've seen out of a handful of the other guys filling up the zone has been exciting. So apparently I'm going to be a little tardy for
You can go.
our meeting
We'll allow you to leave.
right now.
Grant you permission.
I appreciate that.